girl Baby Duck Quack, and what's really good with y'all today. So if you guys have noticed, I have not posted on Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday this week. I do apologize for that. I did have a video that I did a review, which is like the lipstick that I'm wearing now. I did two, and they were by Maybelline. They were two drugstore ones, and YouTube took them down. Well, they didn't take them down, they just blocked it because I did use Maybelline in the title, and I guess you can't do that. So I will change the title and post that up for you guys, and then this story time one. So before we get into this story time, if you guys have not already done so, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure you click that alert button so every single time I post, you guys are always the first ones to know about it. So without further ado, let's just get into this story time. So when I had first started my YouTube channel, a lot of people wanted me to talk about this story, and I wanted to make sure that I was in a good space within myself to talk about it. And right now I feel like, I can talk about it or whatever. And I'm not mad at the situation anymore. I'm honestly happy at the way that it turned out because now I have more time to focus on myself. So let's just get right into this video. So you guys already seen the title, my worst breakup ever. So you guys already know, if you guys have watched some of my previous videos, you guys know that I just graduated in May, and I did a video about my senior year, and briefly in the video I talked about how I had a boyfriend and how I was in a relationship and how I felt like that low-key kind of distracted me from what I really wanted to do and what I really wanted to accomplish. So I'm just going to give you guys some backstories. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll leave the link in the description box. So when I was a senior or whatever, it was around December, I sang in two choirs. I was in a regular choir, and then I was in a more so advanced choir. And my best friend at the time wanted to go to a basketball game. Now, this basketball game, I don't really care for basketball at all, but I believe we were playing our rivals, and all high schools have like a rival school. So I called my parents, and they were just like, oh, okay, well, if you want to go to the game, then go or whatever. So we went to the game, and originally we had went to the basketball game to see somebody else. Like, we wanted to see people from school, but there was this guy that graduated or whatever. We're just going to call him Chucky. So Chucky had graduated or whatever, and we just wanted to hang out with him, because we haven't seen him in a long time or whatever. So we just wanted to see him, but he wasn't even paying attention to us. He sat on opposite sides of the gym, and we didn't even really talk to him. So at this point, we were like forced to actually like watch the game. So we watched the game or whatever. I was already tired. I was looking a hot mess because I had just came from choir rehearsal or whatever, because the game was right after choir rehearsal. So we walked over to him, and we finally spoke to him when the game was finally over. And there was this guy or whatever. This guy was like really short or whatever. I seen him around, and I knew of him because, he was a D1 athlete from my school. He ran track. So like everybody kind of knew him, and I knew of him, but like I never like really talked to him before. So I guess he was staring at me, and we're gonna call him Sting. Sting was staring at me, and I was staring at him. But like I said, I was really there to see Chucky, you know what I mean? I was not there for Sting or whatever. So I went home, and at this time I had this phone. Sorry, I have my camera up. Yeah, at this time I had this phone, so I was looking at it or whatever, and Sting had sent me a message on Snapchat. Now, that's another reason how I knew Sting. Like, I had him on Snapchat. So Sting had sent me a message on Snapchat, and he was just like, hey, did I see you at the basketball game? And I was like, yeah, you saw me at the basketball game. And he was just like, oh, well, you're really cute. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I thought that was really sweet. And ever since that day, me and Sting had been talking. Fast forward, me and Sting, we started dating, okay? So me and Sting were dating, and everything was really, really good. We went everywhere together. When I met Sting, he didn't have his license. I didn't have my license. So, a few weeks into our relationship, he got his license. So, we were able to like drive around. Our parents loved us together and all this stuff. So fast forward, and prom comes around. And this is kind of when me and Sting had problems. I think we were dating for probably about 5 months at this time. So me and Sting were planning prom and stuff like that, and prom wasn't all the way until the end of April. But Sting wasn't somebody that was kind of like last minute. Like, I have a tendency to procrastinate, and I'm kind of like a last minute person. And Sting wasn't like that. So Sting, we were in March and prom was in April. And Sting basically wanted to make sure that whatever we had planned for after prom, we already had decided a month before. So Sting liked to do things that I didn't like to do. So Sting wanted to go to a kickback and basically chill, and I did not want to do that. And you know, I'm 18. I didn't really have a reason to lie to my parents about what I was doing, who I was with, and I just told them, I was like, you know, Sting wants to do this. And it didn't make my parents look at him any differently because, you know, we're all 18, you know what I mean, we're all about to go to college. They were just like, well, you won't be doing that, because, you know, what parents would let their kids do stuff like that? So, you know what I mean? So I told him I didn't want to do that. So then he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was just like, well, I don't know. I'll let you know the next day. So then that's when we started arguing, because for some reason Sting felt the need to know like a month in advance what we were going to do or whatever. So eventually we decided that, okay, you know, after prom, we'll go bowling, and then you could go to that party and I'll go over my best friend's house. You know what I mean? I was like, that's cool. But that was just one of the many arguments that me and Sting had. And I remember I used to be in English crying all the time about the way Sting was talking to me, about the things Sting was saying. Like, we just got into a lot of arguments that I'm not going to say, but we just got into a lot of arguments that were just really, really stupid. So prom came or whatever, and I knew our relationship was in like a rocky space, and I felt like prom was going to be what made our, like, save our relationship. You know, we both knew that we wanted to go to college, but he was going to college to be an athlete. I was going to college to do law. He wanted to go to colleges that were kind of far away, and I wanted to go to colleges that were here. So that was one of our arguments, and we both knew that we were, like, we had to deal with that sooner or later. But I just felt like prom was going to help that, because it would bring us closer. So the day of prom, we went, and if you guys see my last video, you guys will see the pictures of me and stuff like that. We went, we had a really, 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 really good time. And, you know, we just had fun. It was just like a really, like, we just had a really, 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 really good time. And I thought everything was good. I literally thought everything was good between us. So after prom, probably 2 days after prom, I was getting ready for school, and I dressed up. Like, when I tell you guys I dressed up, like, I looked so freaking nice. Like, I dressed up for school, and everybody was telling me, oh my god, Naomi, you look so pretty. I was like, thank you guys. But I have a boyfriend, so I was really loyal. I was really faithful. So I usually eat lunch in the choir room or whatever with my best friend, the one that took me to the basketball game, and my choir teacher. And she said, well, I've seen everybody else's prom pictures, I haven't seen yours. So I pulled up my phone like this, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me show you the pictures or whatever. So as I pulled up the pictures, I get a text message from him, and usually we talked in the morning all the way up until we went to bed. So I said good morning to him earlier when I was in choir, and then when I looked at my phone, he basically just said, Naomi, I don't think this is working. I think we should break up. So I tell my teacher, I'm like, give me 1 second. I need to step out. So I stepped out of the classroom, and I called him, but he was not answering my calls. And that was the first thing that made me mad about this breakup, is that I felt like he owed it to me to at least, like, explain why he was breaking up with me, but he didn't even want to do that. So I was calling him, and he really wasn't answering the phone, and I was just like, all right, bet, you're not going to answer, okay. And he was just like, well, there's nothing to talk about, because at first I didn't know if he was being serious or not. He wasn't like a jokey person, but like, I never expected him to break up with me, you know what I mean? So I kept calling him or whatever, and he was just like, there's nothing to talk about, stop calling me. So I just start crying or whatever. So fast forward, I get home. My parents had to pick me up early, because I was literally having a breakdown in school, because we were together for so long, and if you knew us as a couple, you knew that we were like the cutest couple. He was short, I was short, we were just so, like, we were just like low-key like the Jay-Z and the Beyonce of school in my head. So you know what I mean, everybody was hearing that we had broke up or whatever. So I went home, I had an exam that day, and I couldn't focus because of what happened, and my parents came and they picked me up. So I called him or whatever, and again, he just basically said there was no reason to talk. But then I finally got him to talk, because I told him, I was like, don't you feel like you owe me a conversation at least? He just said that he didn't want to be with me anymore because of the fact that he had track, and he felt like he wouldn't have had time for a girlfriend. And I just felt like that was just a bunch of BS. Like, I knew he was lying to me, guys. Like, I knew he was lying to me, because, like, he's the type of person where he makes stuff for what he wants to make. Like, he makes time for stuff he wants to make time for. And I knew that if he really, really liked me, he could have made time to hang out with me in the summer. Like, at the time, he didn't have a job. I didn't have a job because I had quit my job. So it's just like we had all the time in the world. He could drive. I was getting my license or whatever. I had my car. There was no excuse on why he was saying that we wouldn't have had time for each other. So I just took it as a bunch of BS. I was just like, all right, whatever. You just don't want to be with me anymore. Then he gets a girlfriend. A new girlfriend that's older, that's already in college, a girlfriend that he said he didn't have time for. Like, you told me you didn't have time for me, and then you went and got another girlfriend. And it was just like, I wasn't even mad at the fact that he wanted to break up, because I feel like you're entitled to not be with somebody, you know what I mean? It was just more so the fact, like, dang, we were together and you threw that all away because what, you wanted something different? Like, I was just more upset that he lied, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't want to be with me, I felt like the least you could have did was give me a conversation. You could have at least answered my calls. When I did call you, you lied to me and tell me that you didn't have time for a girlfriend, and then you make time for somebody else. And, you know, I'm not mad at him because I feel like karma is going to get him back for what he did. I honestly wish him the best, and I truly do mean that, because to this day, like, I still, like, I'm not sad about it. Like, I decided to post this now, or to even talk about it now, because I'm not in a place where I'm gonna cry about it, but I just feel like there was no need for him to lie or whatever. But that was my worst breakup or whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will be posting my Maybelline review. It's this lipstick that I'm wearing. I believe this one was called Voyager, but thank you guys for watching. It's your girl, Baby Duck, Quack, and what's really good, I am out. Bye.